Hi there, Philomaths. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Daphne, and I myself am currently having to write 3 papers this month, so I thought what better time to share my process for outlining my papers. More than likely, I will share how to write a paper. However, in this video, I am going to focus on the breakdown of how I personally outline my essays so you can try this strategy yourself and hopefully not feel so stressed out about the assignment. So let's jump in. I'm going to break this down into 4 sections for easy digestion. And the first section is to find your sources. So, for predetermined topics set by your professor, see which materials they require you to use, and if you can add your own sources, find ones that have a lot of material to work with so you have a lot of information that you can work with when writing out and fleshing out your essay. Sometimes it's necessary to pick primary and secondary sources due to requirements. These sources together, however, will create a strong argument or present strong evidence to your topic and point of view. So, if they do not require it, I still recommend trying to find a primary and secondary source. Lastly, you will want to cite your sources in your references, works cited, or bibliography, depending on which format you want to use. Also, predetermine how you will cite the chosen sources in text before you begin writing, and cite as needed while writing your paper. This will help you cite correctly, and you will not have to go back to your sources when you've finished the essay and forget where you found the information. And as far as finding sources, you can check out your school library either in person or online. You can go to different online sites that are legit, and they won't be peer reviewed, but try to find something that has some substance and would be taken seriously. And then the last option is your public library. Okay, so these are the types of sources that you may want to consider. You have articles, journals, books, videos, interviews, and a lot of other options, but these are just a few. So you can use videos and interviews. You don't have to use strictly text materials. Next, you want to determine your paper type or style. There are 5 styles. There's descriptive, which is very visual and may include several senses. For example, you're basically painting a picture with this type of paper. The second one is defining or explanation, aka expository. With this one, you have lots of evidence and examples. The third one is argumentative or persuasive. I put them together because both go into each other. They're pretty similar. And for this one, you are meant to convince the audience of your point of view. The fourth one is narrative, and this one tells a story. And then lastly, you can do a compare and contrast essay where you share the similarities and or differences of at least 2 topics minimum. So those are the main style types. So once you have determined that, you will want to choose a topic. And so here's a few options or examples of topics, not specific topics, they're more broad topics. But once you have determined the style of paper, unless your professor has determined it for you based on the instructions, then you will choose your topic if it's not chosen for you already. This will heavily depend on the class you're taking, and your topic may or may not be chosen for you by the professor, like I said. For example, if you are in a psychology class, your professor may request a compare and contrast paper on disorders. So they may, for instance, put disorder A and disorder B, whichever one they want you to compare and contrast, in which case the paper topic will be chosen for you. However, if the professor does not choose your specific topic and you have options, then choose something you are passionate about. For example, you may feel you are experiencing depression, or you experience depression sometimes or often, and you may experience anxiety and want to compare and contrast both of these options, or you may resonate with only depression and feel it would be interesting to learn about, or interesting to compare and contrast depression with post-traumatic stress disorder, for example. Another possibility or option is maybe you want to know or learn the differences between panic attacks and anxiety attacks because you think yourself or someone close to you may be experiencing one of these. Lastly, if you are still lost and not sure what you find interesting, compile a list of options. So you'll want to write a list of everything that you find interesting, or you could write a list of everything that you have a lot of information on and can find a lot to work with for your paper. And then at that point, once you have everything set, you want to write the outline. So let's say your topic is solely on depression, and you want to understand the process of depression. The latter will be included in your thesis statement. In your intro, the intro will end with your thesis statement, which is, let's say, understanding the causes, symptoms, and treatments of depression will clarify the experience or experiences of depression. And as you can see here, I have an alternate thesis statement. Understanding the causes, symptoms, and treatments of depression will bring clarity to the experience or experiences individuals feel with depression. So there's a few ways you can write your thesis statement and say the same thing. With this thesis, you can then understand the paragraph topics, which would be causes of depression, symptoms of depression, and treatments of depression. Now, if you want to go a bit further and you need more information to extend your essay another page or two, you could utilize another paragraph, and then for the third one for treatments, you would actually be covering conventional treatments, and then you could also mention natural or holistic treatments for depression. And then you could compare and contrast those if it's a compare and contrast essay. And then, of course, your conclusion. So then you have your intro with your thesis, you have your paragraphs of causes, symptoms, treatments, 2 different types of treatments if needed to extend your essay length, and then your conclusion. So this way you know what the paper is going to look like and what you're going to talk about. And that way you're not writing your paper freestyle and then you're one paragraph in and you're confused and you have no idea where you're going, and then you're stressing out, and then you procrastinate and don't finish it. So hopefully this gives you some clarity on writing papers and helps you work this out more efficiently and helps your stress. So this is the strategy I use to write my papers or essays. I hope you found this useful, and hopefully it will help you lessen your stress and help you to not feel so overwhelmed. Also, one thing to note is you can use these tips out of order if needed. For instance, you may want to determine your topic first, then the style of your paper. That's an option too. So yeah, and with that, I will join you in the next video.